Hello, and welcome to Questing Show, a play podcast where each session a new adventurer steps up to fix a broken kingdom. I'm the host and game master James, and who's joining us to embark on today's adventure?
That would be me.
Hello, you. Who are you?
I am Darkfry, Dark for short. I make game analysis, game design stuff on YouTube that you would probably enjoy.
Yeah.
And that's it. I'm not very interesting.
Oh, don't say that. I think you're a little bit more interesting than you let on. What kind of what kind of games and stuff have you covered so far on your YouTube channel?
I've covered Persona 4 Golden for my first one, Paper Mario, Donkey Kong, and most recently BioShock. And currently, it's not up by the time this is recorded, but maybe up by the time this is up, Death Stranding.
Oh, that's very exciting. What have you thought so far about Death Stranding?
Death Stranding is a unique game.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
It's really interesting, and I'm really glad I played it.
Oh yeah,
it's one of those games that you really should play to understand them, and that's getting a bit rare, I think.
Yeah, it's a very, I think, especially considering the budget bracket that it's in and stuff, and even the guy who developed it, it is a very rare thing compared to most stuff. So no, it is very exciting, I'd say.
Yeah,
but it isn't. Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. It is interesting that you said Paper Mario and Persona, though. So have you had much previous experience with role-playing games then?
RPGs, I love playing them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't had much experience in tabletop RPGs, mostly because of where I live.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because you're we've had quite a. I want to think that I've had quite an international cast on this, but I haven't yet. I've only really had Brits and Americans. But you're from Cyprus, correct?
I am.
Okay, and the tabletop role-playing scene just isn't so big over there compared to.
It is minuscule.
Oh wow!
You will have a very hard time finding any, and there is no gaming scene here. There is no. It's very hard, finding anyone locally that does any sort of gaming events, tabletop gaming events. It's very small. Like, I've been in a GameJam this year. At the beginning of this year, because I'm trying to get into game developing myself. And it was a game jam, like one of the biggest and internationally, and it came to Cyprus for the first time, and it was at a cafe with about 20 people.
Wow.
And those 20 people were there were 3 others from my area, and all the others were from all around the island. Who traveled 2 hours to get to that place.
That's amazing.
That is how small the gaming scene in general is here.
It's very tight. Would you say it's tight knit, or just kind of it just hasn't really? It's just not that big compared to other places in Europe and other places in the world, really.
It's just not that big here, and
okay.
there isn't really any way to pursue it here yet.
No.
And all the people I know who wanted to get into game design or game development just went abroad.
Oh, that's a shame.
It is a shame, yeah.
The game that you made for your GameJam, is it up anywhere to try it out, or?
Good question. Can you download it? Wait, because it's a neat little game. I'm really proud of it, actually.
Yeah, I mean, if you put it on itch or something, that'd be quite good.
I'll see if I can do that.
Okay, if you do, let me know, and I'll put the link in this video description because in this podcast description because people might like it. Speaking of which, the links to Darkfry's YouTube and Twitter are also going to be in the description for this below.
Thank you.
That's no problem at all. So, considering you are a newbie to tabletop stuff, and you are going to be a newbie to Quest and Show because only a few people have played it so far, I guess I will give you a quick rundown of how it works, not just for you, but also for the people at home, which is basically, before we start recording, Darkfry came up with a character who will be tasked with solving this episode's issue at hand. And over the course of this adventure, I'll describe settings, characters, and situations. And then it'll be Darkfry's job to essentially tell me how they'd like to proceed with their actions. Most of the time, these actions won't be challenged. However, there may be opportunities when they'll want to take the advantage, say, get a drop on somebody or parlay for a better deal. Or times when they'll have to defend themselves, such as, either using a little bit of bluffing or through combat. During these occasions, they'll be asked to roll 2 6-sided dice, and then for each small advantage that they might have going into a situation, such as their gear or their special abilities, they add 1 onto the final result. Inversely, if they take any harm during the adventure and, say, need to run away to escape or need to defend themselves, they may be asked to remove -1 from the final result. But basically, if you roll high numbers, that leads to great results. And low numbers... What do you think happens if you roll a low number, Darkfry?
Things become interesting.
Yes, that's the thing. I don't want to say that things become bad. It's things become... essentially, it creates more obstacles to be overcome.
Yeah. Here's the thing with me and dice. Dice hate me.
Oh, really?
And I hate them. I literally do not remember a single time where I played a game that involved dice where I rolled well.
Oh no.
Not to jinx myself or reverse psychology myself, but we'll see how this goes.
I think you'll be okay. I think this will go alright for you. And just to add as well, the actual system for this game is also linked in the links below. Now, with that out of the way, is there anything that you would like to say, Darkfry, before we get into the adventure proper?
Nothing much except that I'm really glad to be a part of this, and thank you for having me on.
No problem. I'm happy for you to be here, and glad to have you part of the fun. So,
yay!
All right. Okay. So with that, and also, just a note. Just remember that your actions go in this game as the actions of the previous players will go forward and will affect not just your adventure, but all adventures afterwards. So
that's a bit of a heavy responsibility.
It is a very heavy responsibility, but
that is very scary.
Well, just make sure that you make the right decisions. And I'm not saying the right decisions I just mean what's right for you. That's the main thing. Cool. So with that, we're going to a land out of time and out of place. But it's not the kingdom of Trottelera. Instead, we're going to start with a kingdom that neighbours Trottelera. There is a neighbouring kingdom that is the home of today's hero. Now, Darkfry, let's run through this character that you have come up with. Firstly, what is their name?
Okay, so my character's name is Vasileios Deksis.
Vasileios Deksis, a very cool name for this person.
Yeah, and it's cool because it's Greek.
Oh, does it translate to anything in particular, or does it have like a particular meaning, or?
If it's the equivalent name in English?
Yeah, either that, or just does it have like a particular meaning behind it?
The equivalent name in English is Bill.
Okay. William Deksis.
What Greek does is it takes names and makes them cool.
Yeah, Vasileios is a much cooler name than Bill, I'll say that much. And he, him pronouns for him, I'm guessing, yeah?
Yes.
Excellent. How do they look?
I should have added that.
Nope, that is no problem at all. How do they look?
Vasileios is a young man, large build, He looks like he went through a lot of stuff, and that is because he did, and that is out of his own volition.
Right. So
he wears what he himself calls makeshift armor, but really it's just clothing.
Okay.
And that he made himself to be sturdy and protective.
Yes.
But as much as he could afford, it's really just clothes hand-strewn together.
Okay, he's a bit of a... He wears a lot of patchwork stuff. I
Yes.
I get that. And what's his backstory? Like, how did he kind of end up in this sort of... Why does he wear makeshift armor, and why does he, looks like he's taken quite a few nicks to him?
Vasileios is an interesting lad because he is the nosiest person you will ever meet. Whenever there is trouble or someone in help, he will step in no matter what and involve himself in the trouble and try to solve it. If people need help around Vasileios, they will get it, whether they like it or not. And this led to him... This was his personality since he was a child. He would get in trouble all the time, get in fights, get in all sorts of stuff. And it would escalate as he became an adult, involving himself in much larger troubles like crime investigations and whatnot. Okay. But the interesting thing is that he always, through either intuition or luck, he got some sort of result. And a happy ending.
Okay, he's quite a lucky guy then.
Yeah. But with how much he involves himself in places where he really shouldn't, it's only a matter of time until that luck runs out.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, what expertises would you say that he has?
His expertise is investigation.
Yes.
Because he always finds stuff. He always finds the stuff he's looking for, but possibly doesn't know what to do with them.
Okay, so he's quite keen at discovering stuff, but it's...
Yeah, he has a keen eye.
Okay. He's also quite persuasive, is what I can see here as well.
Yes, because he's such a nice boy.
Oh, absolutely.
And his intentions are always good. He always wants to help. And people, when they see someone who's so willing to help, they're usually quite receptive.
Of course.
So yeah, he's quite persuasive in his own way. Not through words, not because he's good with words, but just because, God darn it, he just wants to help.
He's just a charming guy. I get.
Yeah.
And intuition is another thing that's something you've written in as his personal expertise. And what does that?
Yes.
What does that cover?
It covers that. Where if he feels like he should go somewhere,
yes,
then there is usually something in that direction.
Got you. Okay, so he's got kind of like a natural compass for finding solutions for stuff.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Or finding trouble.
Finding where the excitement is. Now, his special something's very interesting. It's... Well, as we kind of talked about in his backstory, he is a very lucky guy. And covering that, his special something is luck, is what you've written in. And
luck, question mark.
Luck, question mark.
The question mark is actually very important.
Okay. Oh, well, walk me through that, then.
Because with how much trouble he finds himself in, it's tough to exactly call him lucky.
Okay.
But he finds a way through it, whether it's his intuition or his luck. Maybe he is lucky.
Yeah.
But, as I said earlier, it's only a matter of time until he involves himself in something he really shouldn't have.
Absolutely. I will say we're going to do some interesting things with this luck special something because, it's quite a nice thing that these episodes are being recorded sort of before they go up as well, because I think if people find out about what you're doing with luck, I think they'd be very surprised in regards to like, oh, this is very useful, but we'll see what happens.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
I haven't really put it in with the intention of it being super useful.
You know
because that then maybe it wouldn't make things interesting. I just think that this sort of character would be really fun to play in such a setting.
Oh, absolutely. I can see that. So, you know what? You've actually given me a fun idea with that. So I will bring this up when we actually get into the adventure proper then.
Awesome.
Finally, what does he usually bring with him? What's his loadout?
Well, he set off whenever he sets out to help whoever he's trying to help.
Yep.
He has a wonderful sister who always is looking out for him. Mm-hmm. He makes him take with him a first aid kit.
Oh, nice.
She makes sure that she doesn't leave the house without it.
Okay.
And of course, he takes with him Mama's lucky charm.
Excellent.
Is a keepsake that he doesn't go without, and it's his most precious item.
Wonderful. Right. I think with that we know quite a lot about Vasileios then. But one thing I don't quite know is that he is from the neighbouring kingdom next to Trotlera. Would you like to come up with a name for this kingdom? Oh, lordy. I'm going to put you on the spot on this one.
Yes. I am not good at coming up with the names on the spot.
Oh no.
Has there really been no mention of a neighboring kingdom so far? Huh.
Oh, there are plenty of neighboring kingdoms to Trotlera.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
He is from the kingdom of Deksis.
How do you spell that?
D-I
K
E-O.
Deco, yeah?
Deksis.
Okay.
It's another Greek word.
Okay. I will try my best to nail the Greek words as much as possible. But
don't worry, pronounce them how you want. I just like using them to name things.
No, that's absolutely fine. No problem with that. So, Vasileios is from the neighbouring kingdom of Deksis, which they are known to be allies of Trotlera, and where Trotlera is kind of this big old mixing pot of all these different businesses and stuff like that. Deksis is very much settled in a couple of smaller places. They're fishermen, they industrious people, they build quite a lot of... they refine quite a lot of the materials that's brought backwards and forwards between the different kingdoms, such as iron into steel and bronze into copper and stuff like that. And that is where Vasileios is from. He knows a little bit about Trotlera, but not that much. But he has been hearing recent pieces of news from there, including the fact that King Brennan and Queen Manon, the royal rulers of Trotlera, have recently disappeared, leaving the kingdom in the hands of Prince Pratt. But since he hasn't really heard much more than that, obviously Deksis has its own issues to deal with. But what I will say is this. So, this evening, Vasileios is... I want to say this is his usual thing of that he likes to kind of get himself into different things and whatever, which usually means that he's looking at the town bulletin board, as in looking at the various kind of misgivings that people have at the moment, such as somebody has stolen my jewelry and I'm looking for it, or I have a cat stuck in a tree or something like that.
Absolutely. He is always on the lookout.
And so Vasileios has found himself at the local inn, which is where this stuff is. But I will say, unfortunately, not a lot of big jobs on there. But through his eavesdropping, he does hear something very interesting. Towards the back of the room, he sees 3 people. 2 of them are tall and quite slender-looking elves that are wearing the clothes of bandits. On the back of one of their backs is a bow and a quiver. The other one looks like they have fighting knives on them. And they've also brought with them a crow, which seems to be drinking beer out of a little, almost like a little ashtray sort of thing. And that little crow has an eye patch on him.
Oh, that's adorable.
It's pretty good. But they're talking to this hunched over guy that you don't get quite a good look at. He's wearing he's just wearing this big old robe on him. And they're talking about the most interesting thing, Vasileios. Now, I'm going to say that you are going to have a chance to have a listen to him, but you're probably going to want to do this while keeping out of sight. So, if you would like to do this, roll 2d6, and we're about to apply some luck to this. So, I'm going to flip a coin, and if it's heads, luck is smiling on you, and you get +1. But if it's tails, luck is showing its bottom at you, and you get a -1. So
I love it.
Let's find out.
I love it. Okay, I will go for it.
Excellent.
I will not miss this opportunity to find if there's trouble afoot.
Well, good news for you. You are getting a +1 on this. Luck is smiling on you today, so roll 2d6 and we'll add 1 to this.
Excellent. That is a 5.
That is a 5, and that's with the 1 as well, yeah?
No,
that's
5. I rolled a 1 and a 4.
Oh, so that takes us up to a 6. Ooh. Okay, this is going to lead to some complications then. Vasileios, you do your best to keep out of sight as you listen to this conversation. And what you hear is this. Those 2 elves that call themselves Aspirin and Prozac, the other day were attacked by a detective, a sheepman, who was looking into something for Prince Pratt of the Kingdom of Trothlera. They are worried that the prince is going to get very close to figuring out what the conspiracy is at hand in Trothlera. This man in the robe tells them that they need to work quickly, and what they need to do is take Prince Pratt off the board permanently.
What?
You shout "what" at the top of your lungs. These elves and this man in a robe look over at you and they're just like, oh no. And he looks at the 2 elves and he's like, right guys, you know what to do. One of the elves produces knives in their hand. The person behind the bar at the inn is just like, no, you don't do this in here. You want to fight, you do it outside. Easy as that. And yeah, these elves look like they're going to push you into a fight situation outside the bar. So, what would you like to do, Vasileios?
I go outside the bar.
Okay, you do actually agree with this then, and you leave the bar.
Well, it's not...
But you kind of want to escape them as well, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Okay, so you want to kind of make some... So you actually want to exit the bar, but you want to make some distance from these elves, then?
Yes, I will try my best to escape.
Okay, in that case, then, roll 2d6. And we will, once again... Oh no, Fortune is not smiling on you on this one, so we're going to remove 1 from the final results. So roll 2d6.
Oh no. Alright. That's a 6 and a 4. 10.
So that's a 10. Oh, but that takes you down to a 9, which is a mixed success. You do manage to make it out of the bar, and I'm going to say that... how are you trying to escape this situation? Are you going to try and hide? Are you just going to try and run, or what?
I don't think I'd have the best luck hiding. I will use my legs and run very fast.
You are quite a quick guy, Vasileios. Unfortunately,
Yes.
one of these elves is able to keep pace with you. It is not the person who produced knives, however. It is his sister who has a bow and arrow. She is able to get a shot off Vasileios. So what I'm going to say is, you're going to have to do something to defend yourself. What is it?
I try to dodge the arrow.
Okay. That is heads. So roll 2d6 and we'll add +1 to the final result.
Awesome. That is a 3 and a 5.
That is an 8. So that takes us up to a 9. Okay, so that's another mixed success then. That arrow flies right past your head then, Vasileios, and it misses you, fortunately. In a bit of bad luck, however, it does hit somebody else who lives in your town.
Oh no.
Now, I'm not quite sure who this person is, but I'm going to say that they're quite an old person, and they're the person who works at the local bakery. In fact, it is the baker's wife. Unfortunately, this arrow has hit her in the shoulder, and she hits the floor.
Oh no.
She is very upset by these turn of events, and there are people in town who are now looking over and wondering where that wailing is coming from. How would you like to deal with this situation?
I'm assuming that the perpetrator escaped to avoid being spotted, yeah?
Yes, the perpetrator is making a break from it because, they didn't want to shoot a baker's wife.
Yeah. I'm going to use my first aid kit on her.
Wonderful. Okay, I will say that... Okay, we'll do another quick roll for this. Looks like Fortune smiling on you again, and we're going to use 1 use of your first aid kit. So roll 2d6 again, and we'll add 2 to this.
Excellent. That's a 1 and a 4.
A 1 and a 4, which is 5. Oh, but that gets us up to a 7, so that's very good then. Right. You do manage to patch up the old baker woman, and she looks at you. She goes, "Oh, Vasileios, you're such a kind boy for doing that. Thank you so much." As you're able to pull the arrow out of her shoulder. Then you do look back though, and the complication is you can no longer see where these elves are. Unfortunately,
that is awful.
that is not very good. But
Yeah.
you do have one of their arrows now, however. Law enforcement in Deksis is starting to come over. Dekio. They are starting to come over now, and they're looking to see, who got off, who just shot this poor old woman, and what's going on, essentially. So, how do you proceed? Right.
Now, law enforcement is they like me very much, actually.
Oh, that's good.
Because I've helped them a fair bit in the past. I ask one of the officers to take a look at the arrow and see if he has any information on it.
This detective, then, that is in the city guard, who is somebody who likes you quite a lot. This is a person that we'll call... Do you want to come up with a name for him, or how should I do that?
His name is Gregorios.
Detective Gregorios. That's cool. Yeah, Detective Gregorius is he's been with the Deksis City Guard now for a couple of years at this point. He remembers you when you were a lot younger, but yeah, you've been quite a helping hand with stuff. And while maybe some of the city officials aren't quite sure on you, at the end of the day, you are doing this for you're trying to help people out, and you do help out in quite a pinch. So yeah, Gregorius is just kind of looking at you, and he's just like, all right, so somebody got an hour off, and all right, all right, you and me, we're gonna have a quick look at this, and we're gonna figure out what the heck's going on. All right.
All right.
So with that, we'll roll 2d6. We're gonna investigation. We're gonna add that to it as well. We're also gonna add +1 because you're using the help of Detective Gregorius, and finally, luck is continuing to smile on you, so you're getting a big 3 on the final result of this.
So I don't stumble on my words. That's good. That's a 7.
7 plus 3 is a 10. Big 10. Excellent stuff. Right. You and Gregorius then have this arrow in front of you, and you're looking over details of it. First thing that you noticed is the wood that is being used and the feathers that are at the end of the arrow leads you to believe that this is an arrow that was made by a group called the Hay Fever Tribe. These are a group of elves, and they're a group of many different races, orcs and elves and stuff like that are based just outside the kingdom of Trossalera. Very recently, they were actually brought into Trossalera as part of a new business venture called the Task Guard. They've now been put in charge of the tolling booths around the outskirts of the city, which raises the question: why would they want to assassinate Prince Pratt? Having a quick look at the arrowheads and stuff like that, you also get to figure out that the person that made these is likely somebody who doesn't live in a city or lives in a town. They are more likely somebody who lives in a forest, of which there is a little bit of around the Hay Fever Tribe's area. So you get a pretty good idea of, if you wanted to go after these people, where they would be.
Excellent.
Gregorius is just... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
It seems that we are stopping a conspiracy to assassinate Prince Pratt.
Gregorius is just kind of looking at you, and he goes, wait, so those people who just shot that old woman, you think they're gonna try and kill Prince Pratt?
I heard it clear as day at the bar.
Right.
They're going to try to get him out of the picture, and they're gonna try to do it soon.
Oh God. Yeah, alright. He's just kind of looking behind him, and he's like, "What do you think you're gonna need any backup? I mean, I know you're a pretty stealthy guy, but if this is royal family level, this is a pretty big deal, Vasileios."
I think it's best not to involve any backup, because then they'd notice.
Yes, that makes good sense, I think. What Gregorius does offer, though, is that if you are going against two, obviously she's a trained marksman, and her brother did have combat knives on him, you might want to take something to defend yourself. So,
yes.
What are you thinking? What kind of thing do you think you would need to even the odds on this one?
As the right hand of justice, I've always wanted to be a knight, so I shall take a sword.
Fortunately for you, the City Guard are quite... they have a very big stock of swords. Short sword, long swords, longer swords, the longest swords. But they give you a nice medium-length cleaver, something that you can fight with from quite a bit of distance, and something that you can conceal just in case. And
excellent.
Yeah, Gregorius is just kind of looking at you, and he's like, all right, good luck to you, but, you're going to need it, all right? If this is a royal family conspiracy, these could be pretty big odds, all right?
Yeah. I'm gonna need all the luck I can get.
I'm gonna need all the luck I can get.
Yeah.
So, Vasileios, where do you go? What is your plan then? How do you want to take on these two?
I inform the guards and the law enforcement of the appearance of the figures I saw at the bar.
Okay.
To be on the lookout, just in case.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even know why they were in DKO to begin with.
That is true. Yeah, from what they were speaking to somebody, a hooded figure, which may be somebody from Dikio, or could be, or maybe just somebody from a neighbouring kingdom who, obviously, for political means, didn't want to do it on their own turf. So
yeah.
Okay, so you give a description then to the guard about about the two people that you've seen. Then, yeah.
Yes. Yes,
okay.
And the crow.
Oh yes, and
the crow is probably important.
The crow is very important. In that case, then,
I have a feeling.
I'm going to say that this is part of your... This is you being quite persuasive on this, so add +1. And...
Yes?
Luck is smiling on you again. So roll 2d6.
I am quite fortunate today.
You're being very fortunate today.
Haha. Hey, dice hate me, but I didn't say anything about coins. That is a 7 again. That's a 3 and a 4.
That's a 3 and a 4 plus 2 takes us up to a 9. Good news for you. A message has been relayed quite quickly from guards who are at the city limits, and they have given you the description of these two elves and their pet crow who are trying to sneak off past the spotlights.
So they left, is what I'm getting.
They are trying to leave the city limits. They are trying to leave the city walls as quickly as they can.
Okay, so they're probably heading off to Trottalara to do the deed.
Yes.
So I follow in pursuit and head off to Trottalara myself.
Excellent. In that case... Oh no! Fortune is not smiling on this one. Roll 2d6 to see if you can catch up with them.
That's a 3.
Oh, -1 is a 2. Oh no.
They are gone.
You get to the limits, you find this guard and ask where are they, and he tells you that they had a horse hiding out in the marshlands before you arrived, so they have quickly taken off.
They are gone with the wind.
They are gone with the wind.
Cool.
So the only thing that you can do now is get to Trottalara and warn Prince Pratt before they can get what they want, essentially. So
I have to find some method to get to Trottalara very quickly. I ask around the town.
Okay.
If anyone would be willing to lend me a steed to use.
Fortune is smiling on you on this one because we got heads, and I will say that because this is your town and you do know the people in there, we will add 2 to this result. So roll 2d6.
Excellent. That is a 6.
But we got that up to an 8. There is somebody in town who can help you. They are an inventor by trade, and they have been working on many different forms of horseless travel to try and innovate the town that you live in of Dekio. And what he has come up with is a kind of a motorized bicycle that does use a engine to propel itself. He calls it a motorized bicycle. It is a bit of a wordy name for the thing, but he thinks that it will be able to help you out in a pinch. He wants you to use this because he wants you to test it out and see if it will help, if it really is quicker than a horse. It has got quite a couple of issues to it. One of the issues being that it is very loud. But with all the other horses stabled up for the night, you haven't really got a lot of choices with this.
Well, it's not like I'm trying to be stealthy with this. I just want it to go fast.
You
If
just
it does
want
that, if it does that,
you just
then
want
then it is very useful indeed.
Okay.
I thank the inventor for his offer, and I take the motorized
bicycle.
Bicycle, and I try my best to ride it
Into the night.
into the night,
So-
like some sort of non-caped crusader.
No, because you haven't got a cape. You have got
I do
a
not.
sword.
I do not. I do not. It's the one thing I'm missing.
If anything, you need something to kind of tie this whole look together. But if you
Yeah.
survive this, then you're gonna get the chance to do that. You ride off then across bumpy roads towards Trottelera. The Kingdom of Trottelera is quite a pretty little thing at night. It's all built around this dip. It's the opposite of a dip. It's like this little kind of plateaued hill right at the centre of the kingdom where all the houses grow out of, and there's the main castle, which looks like a lantern due to the lights that stream out of it and the coloured glass around the windows.
Oh, that looks quite good.
It was pretty good. It was pretty cool. But as you head towards the limits of Trottelera, you see that there are tolling guards outside. Bad news for users. They were tipped off that you would be coming, maybe to try and stop these elves, and they do not want you to get through. How would you like to proceed?
Tolling guards, meaning they
usually put down like a little barrier and they stop people from coming in and out of Trottelera without paying a small tax.
I don't have much money on me.
You don't have much money on you, and I will say as well, they don't look like reputable fellas. They look quite some of them are producing bows and arrows even before you've reached the toll.
I tell them that I have come to show the latest innovation of technology hailing from the kingdom of Deksis.
That's funny.
And maybe get the interest of the town itself, that it is in their best interest to let me in.
Okay. Fortune smiling on this one, and you're being persuasive. So roll 2d6 and we'll add 2 to this.
That is a 6.
We got that up to an 8. The guard look at you as you explain this story and you show off this motorcycle, and they're just kind of a bit bemused by this story because it is in the middle of the night and it is just and they were warned by 2 elves that somebody would be coming likely in pursuit of them. However, they do notice that lucky charm that is hanging around your neck, and one of them goes, "Tell you what, I think I know why you're really here, but that piece of jewellery that you got there looks pretty tasty, so we'll let you through, but you got to give us that lucky charm."
Tasty? Are you going to eat it?
No, I mean tasty as in, it looks like it could fetch a few bob at the pawn shop.
Listen, I honestly can't offer you this.
Why not?
This is my lucky charm. It's my most precious thing.
It is. Well, you either give us that or we're not going to let you in, because we think that you might be some no-good terrorist trying to get in here.
Terrorist? I would never do that. All I'm trying to do is show the wonderful people of Trottelera how the wonders of technology.
Roll again on this. Let's see if you're going to be lucky on this. luck is still smiling on you, fortunately. You are being quite persuasive, and I'll say that because your lucky charm has now fallen into this, we'll add +1 for that as well. So roll 2d6.
That is a 10.
We got that up to a 13. That is amazing.
5-5.
Wowee. Those guards are just a little bit bemused by this story that you're saying. Now, the inventor of the motorcycle did say that there were still a few kinks left to be worked out, and one of those kinks is the fact that as you're standing next to it, the motorcycle wakes up, starts to rev, and then out of your control starts to fly forward through this tolling booth. Those guys are completely bemused as it does this, as they try and scramble to grab their things, chase after it, but this has given you the perfect opportunity to sneak right past them and right into the Kingdom of Trottle era.
Excellent.
You do this, and you're able to make enough speed to get right back onto the motorcycle again as you get to the kingdom and to the castle. At this time at night, Prince Pratt is likely falling asleep. He's, dreaming about all the wonderful things that could come tomorrow. What he isn't dreaming about is being arrowed, though, unfortunately for you. You get to the castle walls, and what I will say to you is, would you like to investigate where you are to see if you can find these two?
Well, I've definitely made a lot of people aware of my presence because of
your noisy motorcycle.
Of the infernal noise the motorized bicycle is making.
People are sticking their heads out of their houses and looking down. They're just like, "What's that? Is that like the roar of dragon's fire? What is that?" Looking down, and they're going, "Ooh, look how fast that motorcycle goes. That's exciting." But yeah, you have made yourself well known, which means that if you are pursuing these two, they're likely going to put a bit more spring in their step.
Yes.
So,
I investigate around the castle to find some sort of either clue as to where to go or a way in.
Okay. Fortune's smiling on you on this one as well, and you're using investigation to do this, so roll another 2d6.
That's a +2, yeah?
+2.
Hey, that is a 9.
Very good. You're kind of doing a nice arc around where the castle walls are, and you see, using a rope and pulley to get themselves up the castle wall, are these two elves. Bad news for you is they do see you. But rather than get themselves involved, they make a little head signal to their crow. That crow is now flying towards you in the hope of pecking your eyes out. So, Vasileios, how would you like to deal with this situation?
I try to find some sort of cover for my face as to prevent my eyes from being poked by this drunk crow.
Okay. Let's see how lucky you're going to be on this. Oh, you're still very lucky. Oh, wow, just strings of heads on. This is amazing.
Yes.
Okay, roll 2d6 and add +1 to this, then.
That's a 4 and a 3.
So we got that up to an 8. You are quite near a building that has a banner outside which is advertising its wares. You grab that as you go past, and you put this thing around your eyes like a cowl to kind of hide your to keep your eyes protected. That crow, noticing that, doesn't try to go for your eyes then, but it does grab into your shoulder and is trying to essentially ruin your balance while you're going along on this motorcycle.
I'm still on the motorcycle. Okay.
You're still on the motorcycle for a moment, but you may need to do something to keep your balance.
Whew. I try to drag the to reduce the speed with the heel of my foot.
Okay.
So that I can stay on it and not crash and burn.
Okay.
In the middle of town, before I even head towards the castle.
Bad news, luck isn't smiling on you on this one.
Oh no!
Roll 2d6, I'll have to take one off.
There's gonna be a pebble somewhere. That's a 2 and a 2.
Oh, so that's a 3. Oh no. Yeah, you do hit a bad cobble with this, and that crow batting at you and squawking at you. Yeah, unfortunately, you do lose balance on this motorcycle, and you fly off of this. This thing spins out and comes, like, essentially smashes into the side of a brewery, and you come stumbling down. You are now bloodied by this. You have blood running down your nose and down your arm from taking quite a bad fall on this.
Oh no.
The crow is now circling around your head, hoping to get another attack on you.
I flail my arms wildly,
Okay.
to get this damn crow out of my face.
Excellent. Don't forget you have got a sword with you as well.
I do.
Yes.
I do. I use that sword, but I don't know if a sword would be helpful against a
crow.
Against a crow. I don't want to kill the guy.
You don't want to. You just want to stop him.
Yeah.
Luck is smiling on you on this one then, and you have got something to help you, which is a sword. So
yes.
Roll 2d6 and 1 2 to the final result.
Excellent. That is a 10.
That is excellent. Got that up to a 12. This crow dive bombs towards you, goes like trying to hit you. You hold your sword out, and with a small movement, you cleave this little thing's arm. You haven't killed it, but you have now crippled it from being able to fly. It kind of stumbles into the floor, hopping around with a busted arm, just like angrily squawking at you as it now has no real way to fight you.
Aw, the poor little guy.
Poor little guy. You can put him under your arm if you want.
I do that. I carry him with me.
Okay, you have now.
I carry him with me and try to head to the castle to stop these evildoers.
You get to the castle then, and you saw where that rope was that they were using to climb onto the castle wall. You now see that one of them has already got over the castle wall, and the other one is attempting to get over there at the same time. You can potentially use the same way to try and catch up with them, or you can try and find a way to cut them off. It is up to you.
Before I do that,
yes,
the crow has been surprisingly quiet. That's fortunate. I'll wrap a little bandage around his beak to make sure it stays that way.
You use one use of your first aid kit to keep the crow quiet. And I will say, because you are using this, we'll even remove bloodied from you, because you take a little bit of time out to fix yourself up.
Yeah.
Excellent. But by doing so, the other elf is now over the castle wall. So, how do you want to get after him?
I try to find a shortcut to cut them off, and try my best to race them to the top.
Wow, that coin flew.
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah, that was exciting. Oh no. Luck is not smiling on you on this one. However, you are using your intuition on this.
Yes.
So, roll 2d6 straight.
That is a 9.
Fantastic. You find a little crack, essentially, big enough that you and the crow can slip right through it within the castle walls. This is likely something that is used by the guards during the daytime to keep an eye on people. However, there aren't any... The only guards that you can see are at the front gate at the moment, so you managed to slip through. You're absolutely where the elves are. They're just a little bit further up from you because they're trying to get a good vantage point to snipe right through the prince's bedroom. However, seeing you and seeing their pet crow that you have now made your own, the brother who had the twin daggers in his hand is running towards you to try and finish the job.
I try to fight him with my sword.
Luck isn't smiling on you on this one, but you are using your weapon, so we'll cancel those two out. So roll 2d6.
Oh no, this is scary.
This is scary.
This is scary. That is a 7.
Okay. Your sword and his daggers clash together then as you're kind of at a standoff. You manage to kind of push him towards the castle walls and you've kind of got him at a good placement. However, his sister is still continuing to pull out her arrows to kind of like, and pull out her quiver to try and like get a good shot off up there. So the choice that you kind of have is you can either try and like get this guy off you to go after the sister, or you can try and like finish him off and hope that she misses her first shot.
I will try something.
Or
in a heroic burst of adrenaline and ideas.
Yes.
I try to throw Mama's Lucky Charm at the elf, aiming towards. My goal is to hit her in the face, make her flinch, and hopefully buy myself some time fighting her brother.
I quite like this idea, so I'll give you a +1 for that. Fortune's smiling on you as well, so that's another 1, and you are using Mama's Lucky Charm, so we'll add a 3 to whatever the result of these rolls are.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Vasileios is gonna be a hero. He's gonna make a name for himself.
Hopefully.
That is a 6.
+3 is a 9. Okay, that's very cool then. You kind of do like a base, you kind of kick the brother away long enough so you can do a baseball throw then. You line up your arm, get a good shot, and the weight of Mama's Lucky Charm careens through a nice arc through the air, hits the sister in the head, and she falls off the castle wall.
Oh. Mama's Lucky Charm packed quite a punch.
The brother bumps into you. Doing so, he knocks your sword off yourself, leaving you bare-armed for a moment as he goes back to some knife play. So what is your plan?
I desperately try to dodge and get back my sword. I try my best in this fight I found myself in. It's nothing I'm not used to. Plenty of scraps in the past, but this one has a bit of a higher stakes.
Yes. Roll 2d6, and unfortunately luck isn't smiling on you on this one.
Oh no.
Oh no.
That is a 4.
Oh dear. You manage to jump out to put your hand on the sword. He digs one of his daggers right through your leg. You are now maimed in that leg, which means that if you're going to do any running about or whatever, you're going to be doing that at a -1, unfortunately. You have got your hand back on the sword, though. He has left that dagger in your leg as he uses the other one to kind of run up and try and get a nice plunge on you.
I turn around. I with all my strength, I try to turn around and throw him off, give him a kick to to shake him off and land a nice hit on him while I try to
Cool.
recover
smiling.
with my sword.
Nice. Luck is smiling on you, and you are using a weapon, so roll 2d6 and we'll add 2.
That is a 7 once again.
So that is a 9 then. Okay. I do say then, you do manage to kind of pull yourself up, and as he runs towards you, you do run that knife right through his chest, which causes him to stumble back. The complication, unfortunately, is that he isn't quite out of it yet. You also do notice that the sister isn't out of it yet. She has managed to kind of pull herself up. She isn't looking very good, though, at the moment. And all this commotion has raised the attention of those guards who were at the front of the castle.
Okay, this is still quite a bit of distance away from Prince Pratt's chambers, right?
Yes.
Okay, I try. I try to get the guards' attention to help me with the two assassins. I try to warn them of their goal.
Okay. You get him 1 for persuasion, and Luck is smiling on you, so another 1. So roll 2d6.
No, fell down.
Oh no.
That's an 8.
We got that up to a 10 then. One of the guards blows his whistle then to get the attention of the rest of the guards on site. And yeah, they now start to run over to where you are. They are very trustworthy of you, surprisingly, despite the fact that you're wearing a cowl around your head and you have a sword, as they now do start to descend on the 2 elves. However, seeing that this is now an issue, the elves are going to try and make a break for it. What would you like to do?
Well, one of them has a knife sticking out of his chest, and
yeah,
and the other is
a little bit discombobulated,
quite hurt as well.
Yes.
I think it'd be doable to try to cut him off at the exit.
I absolutely think that would be the case as well. Luck is smiling on you on this one, so roll 2d6 and we'll add a 1.
That is a... Wait a minute. That's a 9.
Oh, so that's a 10. Yeah, that guy who you slashed across the chest and you left your sword in him tried to stumble away, but in one last bit of energy that you had, you bulleted behind him and you were able to essentially tackle him to the floor, thus allowing the guards that were near you to grab hold of him and put him in cuffs. 2 other guards chase after his sister, but they all disappear into the darkness, so you're not quite sure what's happening with them.
So they arrested the brother.
Yes, they've arrested the brother.
I don't know if with my leg I can chase after
the sister.
The sister.
No, but
but the guards will take care of it. No,
I'm sure they will. One of the guards does notice, though, the giant dagger hole in your leg, and they do offer if you want a little bit of first aid for it.
I would like that, yes.
Okay. The rest of the evening, then. So you are brought into the guards' chambers, then. You're put on a table, you're given a little bit of anesthetic, and then they do fix around your leg, then. They even ask you, who were those 2 people and, why were they here?
I tell them the whole story. It's a bit of a wild ride, and why this random person from another kingdom would try to do this is beyond them, but...
you give the description of the guy that you saw in Deksis. You said that it was this old hooded guy and he was talking to these 2 elves.
Yes,
Interestingly enough, they already have pictures of these two sketches of these two elves that were given to them by Prince Pratt, who these were apparently the two people that were chased by the sheep detective that he had hired a little while ago. Eventually,
so they're already known figures in the kingdom.
They were already known perpetrators. Yeah, they had assassinated a orc called Crescent a little while ago as well, who apparently had information pertaining to the disappearance of King Brennan and Queen Manon.
Oh no!
So it's very possible that these two have even more information. But
well, I'm sure the prince will be quite happy to find out that with my help they've managed to arrest him. You can be
quite sure, because after you explain this to the guards, you do see a figure enter the guard's palace. He is wearing his pajamas though, but you do recognise him as Prince Pratt. And he goes, "Ah! So you're the guy who saved my life, right?"
Yes, Prince. I am Vasileios Deksis. I come from Deksis, and as soon as I heard those two assassins say they were gonna try to off you, I knew I had to get involved.
As you explain that, this giant guy comes over, he picks you up and he's cuddling you, which is a very weird thing to do to a guy that has apparently saved your life. But the prince isn't quite sure what to do in this situation. He's like, I don't know how to thank you. What can I do for you? What kind of thing can I give you as a thank you for saving my life?
Nothing much, Prince. All I want is for you to let the people know that it was Vasileios Deksis who saved you from these two assassins, and that Vasileios Deksis will help anyone he can.
The prince nods up and down and he goes, "Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'm going to make sure your story goes far and wide." And he looks at his... he's kind of like... It's weird. He went from being really scared that somebody tried to assassinate him to really excited that somebody saved his life. So...
that is quite the thing to go through. I mean...
he's not really dealt with situations like this before.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I think with that, Vasileios, that is the end of your adventure for now. So what I will ask is, what happens to Vasileios after this? Like, what does, because, as the prince said, he will sing your praises far and wide. And you're a pretty cool looking guy. You were wearing that cowed hood and you had a motorcycle and stuff like that. He's got the local artists to start drawing pictures of you, stuff that could be put on very simple pieces of paper and distributed far and wide about your adventures.
Well, I warned the prince, after Vasileios warns the prince of the involvement of the tolling guards, that maybe he'd like to look into that. He makes sure that the name Vasileios Deksis spreads far and wide, and to be known as the name of a hero that will try to help anyone he can in his own unorthodox methods.
Yes.
With his cool looking motorcycle, his cool attire, his cowl, and his lovely pet crow that he so lovingly adopted and named Skotos.
Skotos, that's cool.
He makes his way back to Deksis, where his fellow villagers are happy to welcome him back.
Yes.
His sister is very happy to see him, and very glad to see that the
first aid kit came in very handy.
Yes, and that his mama's lucky charm has
was able to save the day. Yeah.
was able to save the day with it has a bit of a dent in it, but that dent is symbolic of its great deeds.
Wonderful. What a good ending. Fantastic. Good job,
Yeah.
Vasileios.
God damn, I did not expect the luck to...
Hey, that was a very lucky 50 pence piece that I used
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Vasileios.
Like, it was heads after heads, that one.
was-
And Vasileios managed to make a name for himself as a hero, and that a name that will ring in many years.
I absolutely, for years and years to come, not just in Trottle era, but the whole of the continent. And
Yay!
I think with that, that's the end of the adventure. How did you find that?
That was so much fun. Yay!
Good.
I
I'm
loved
glad.
it.
I'm glad to hear it, and everyone so far has had quite a good time with this, and I'm also glad as well because this is kind of your first experience with doing this sort of tabletop stuff.
It is, yeah.
I think you took it on really well, so it's good stuff.
Thank you.
No problem. So before we wrap up, question show, are there any final plugs? Anything you wanna say before we wrap up?
I've really enjoyed doing this. Thank you for having me on once again.
No problem.
Follow me on Twitter at DarkfryYT for objectively good content, and check out my stuff on YouTube. I have this funny little pink stick figure that likes to talk about games a lot, and says some interesting stuff. I try to make videos that are fun, quirky, and thought-provoking. And you will be the judge if I succeeded or not, but please check them out. That is all.
Excellent. Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And with that, that is another episode of Question Show. If you
Yay.
enjoyed... If you enjoyed, please leave a like and a comment if you're watching this on YouTube, or please leave us a review if you're listening to this on a podcast app, because that will really help us grow the project. And I guess with that, for another episode, thank you very much, and goodbye.
Goodbye.